Not sure how this is gonna go, but
As I recall, this guy won't listen to reason and can only be persuaded with intimidation. But he does seem to follow rules to some extent. Use that against him.
Speaking of regulations, we have our own laws and regulations too. According to Article 4 of the Cienjo Alliance IPC Trade Consensus, Alliance and IPC shall never infringe on each other's intellectual property rights.
The Alliance can sign a non-disclosure agreement with you. That way, you won't have to worry about any infringements, right?
We can sign a mutually acceptable non-disclosure agreement in accordance with the IPC's rules.
Well, that makes sense, but how can we trust you to honor the term? Even if we set aside the secrecy of intellectual property, these prototypes built by the Intelligentsia Guild are incredibly valuable, beyond your wildest imagination. If anything goes wrong, you won't be able to pay for it even with your life.
good old violence. Sounds about right.
Don't underestimate Cienjo technology. Even if they need to dismantle your cargo, the Artisanship Commission can easily put it back together.
Yeah, go ahead and brag about their skills. After all, you're just a negotiator. But I'm different. I'm an IPC member, and my fleet has accepted this transportation order. Naturally, I need to be responsible for the integrity of every piece of cargo. Besides, cargo on this transport vessel belongs to the Intelligentsia Guild. If you want to inspect the cargo, shouldn't you at least call in a member of the Intelligentsia Guild to be present?
Well, thanks for joining and welcome on in. Hopefully you can pop by more often. I've been kind of slacking on the streaming thing too in general, so I'm gonna try to get more into doing that. Oh, that's what. Yeah.
You're pulling out all the stops, and you've even dragged members of the Intelligentsia Guild into this. Seems like you're not interested in resolving this at all. Since we've met each other before, Mr. Skott, let me share some information. Your transport ship was attacked by the Borison, and the Cloud Knights might see it as more than just a random attack.
You think you can scare me with that? What exactly do you mean?
Sure, might purely be innocent victims of a Borison attack. Think about it another way. Why would the Borison launch such an attack near the Lafu? Perhaps some of your crew members colluded with them. We may need to interrogate every one of your crew to eliminate this potential risk.
You know what? I don't think we really need a member from the Intelligentsia Guild present. I'm just hoping that all the procedures will be thoroughly followed, you know? We both need to follow the regulations, because that's how the IPC and the Cienjo operate, right? As an IPC worker, I have to abide by its regulations. Take an exception and allow you to inspect the cargo, it'll spell disaster for me.
Huh? Your logic is too confusing for anyone to follow. Maybe you should learn the art of communication from a monkey before you continue spouting nonsense.
That's not the one I meant to do that, but... Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay.
I understand that you're trying to stick to the IPC regulations, and that's commendable, Mr. Skott. But what you fail to see is that this argument is tarnishing the IPC's reputation on the Xianzhou. If this conflict with the Skyfaring Commission escalates, it won't just make things difficult for your business, but it'll also have an impact on your career down the line.
Of course, I never wanted conflict with the Xianzhou. Like I said, all I wanted was to retrieve the cargo and be done with it, but they just refused to let us go.
Suck it, nerd.
Well, you guys sure know how to argue your case. Fine, I'll allow you to do the security inspection. Just that, I need some time to sort things out. This is a big deal. Let me talk to headquarters first.
So, Mr. Scott, are you just stalling for time and planning to leave the Xianzhou as soon as your ship is repaired? To avoid the Skyfaring Commission's inspection?
Well, IPC staff are free to come and go, as long as they don't break any laws.
Yeah, you've got some insight there. Who are you again?
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Ling Shi,
Oh no, she's
Master
hot!
and head of the Alchemy Commission on the Law Group.
Yeah, he's the new Cauldron Master assigned here from the Xianzhou Zhuming.
I received a report from the Artisanship Commission about cargo containing samples of unknown organisms. It said they needed help from the Alchemy Commission. I had nothing better to do, so I came myself.
Well,
It's fine,
please
Mr. Scott.
be
If
kind.
you really
Don't
don't
let her
want
be
your
after
cargo
Fei
to be
Xiao.
inspected, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter? How can you say that?
Why are you being so nice all of a sudden? Well, since you're not going to check it, I'll take this crate and be on my way. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, sure. Why should I object? Not only this sample, but all the goods on the transport ship are yours to keep. Like I said, we won't inspect them.
Wait a minute!
Well, that's more like
Man,
it.
he's having girl
If
troubles
only
today.
Young displayed a more reasonable attitude, we could have sidestepped that altercation just now. Our
I mean, I
ship
got
will leave in a few days once the
Jesus.
engines are
Put you in your place again, so that was cool.
Your ship can leave whenever you want, but I'm afraid I can't say the same for your cargo. According to the import and export regulation signed between the Xianzhou and IPC, all biological shipments can only leave the port when they have confirmed to be of no threat, or when all biological activity expires. Since we can't determine if your shipment is safe for the environment, I guess we'll have to wait for its biological activity to expire. Let me check the previous cases. Normally, it'll only take around 47 star calendar years.
only 47 years?
Why so surprised? You're still young and full of energy. I'm pretty sure you'll live a few more decades. Have some confidence in yourself.
Ha! Typical of a long-life species. Your words are dripping with sarcasm. While you may not care about time, I do. I'll be demanding double compensation from the Skyfaring Commission for every minute wasted.
Sure thing, Mr. Scott. You seem pretty confident that your career and life will last long enough to witness this victory unfold.
Step aside, guys. Let them do the inspection.
What is with all the random pauses?
Mr. Scott! Come on, we're already in enough trouble. Just let them do the security inspection. And if needed, you can always grovel before the Intelligentsia Guild later. I'm just using my head for what it's apparently good for, right? Well, honestly, at least you're not as annoying as that woman. Just get on with the inspection. Don't act all chummy with me now that you've got your way.
This lady is really something else. Is this the IPC product?
Listen up. Any damages caused by inspections will be filed with the IPC.
I should use some time tonight to upload some of the backed up videos I have to TikTok and edit stuff, because that's the only reason I can give to this lag. Normally the cinematic scenes run beautifully on this game. Fascinating. Anyway. I'll give thought into it if I actually need
That
to.
was a surprise. Your face is
Tremendous. Time to say bye. Boom. I weep for the departed. It's his fault.
Hey look, I need to put thought into it.
Were you seriously planning to leave this stuff unchecked at the dock for days? That's way too dangerous.
I had no idea about it. You must have accidentally triggered the cargo's defense program.
I don't think trying to shift the blame is a wise choice.
But seriously, I don't know why that thing suddenly started moving. I swear on the Emperor Lord.
Enough. Miss Shikwe, please escort our IPC guest to the Skyfaring Commission.
I'm on it. Please follow me, Mr. Scott.
I do like the nice little touch of the
Gentlemen,
guard just kind
our
of
preliminary
moving when
inspection shows that there
breathing.
is indeed
They don't
hidden
really do
biological
much else.
tissues inside. Just like the craftsman feared. We can't even tell if it's ingenium or biological in nature.
The core of this device is what they call wetware in industry slang. Put it simply, this machine operates with a kind of biological nerve as its control center.
I'll take some samples for the alchemist to analyze and figure out where the biological tissue comes from.
Why would the Intelligentsia Guild use such unethical technology? Perhaps they're trying to create a new weapon?
Whatever the reason is, probably why the Borison attacked the ship. No wonder the IPC were trying to obstruct our inspection. I'll contact the Ten Lords Commission and ask the judges to come and give their final verdict on this. According to our rules, all prisoners and weapons involving dangerous creatures must be taken to the shackling prison for further sentencing. After all, the safest place on the Wafu. As for you, Mr. Craftsman, please go with the Cloud Knights and explain the situation to the judge. I had a feeling that the IPC members would cause trouble, but I didn't think they'd be this tricky. Thanks for your help, Miss Lingsha.
I should thank you for saving my life. Your sword skills were impressive. Taking down that big guy. I thought the General's retainers were all burly martial masters. I didn't expect Yanqing to be so...
Okay, all of those are a little demeaning, I'm just saying. But I also don't like him, so...
Huh? As for you, You must be the guests from the Astral Express, right? Saving the Lawfu from that crisis. It's so impressive.
It wasn't a big deal. Really.
It's still early, so why don't we get some tea at the Alchemy Commission? We can discuss your suggestions for revitalizing the commission.
I'd be happy to accept your invitation.
And you three are coming too, right? All these years, and the view of the Alchemy Commission hasn't changed a bit. The tides come and go, but the ancient sea remains the same. For us Vidyadhara, there's nothing more nostalgic than our homeland.
You're a Lofu native, Miss Lingsha?
Yes, I grew up here, listening to the sound of waves while researching prescriptions with my mentors and peers at the Alchemy Commission. It's kinda sad, isn't it? Everything changes but somehow remains familiar. Just like you, Don Hung, I traveled far from home, and now I've returned. Seeing the familiar scenery brings back a hint of nostalgia.
The view here would be even better without the ambrosial arbor.
Oh really? I think that towering tree looks pretty impressive.
Even if it's impressive, it's a plague mark. The Xianzhou have been fighting abominations for thousands of years. Now that the ambrosial arbor has been reborn, it's only natural for everyone to feel uneasy.
Well, once a seed is planted, no matter how long it takes, it'll eventually sprout and bear fruit. In my humble, the rebirth of the ambrosial arbor and the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus were inevitable. The seed was already planted, and the ancestors of the Xianzhou sought immortality. My bad. Well, since you went through the entire ambrosial arbor crisis firsthand, Dan Heng and Lieutenant Yan Qing, I'd like to discuss something with you.
What would you like to discuss, Miss Lingsha?
I was lucky enough to be chosen by the Alliance. Come in and clean up all the old grime in the alchemy. Honestly, the Alchemy Commission is riddled with problems and has reached a point where fixing it seems impossible. I'm looking to remedy this problem, but was wondering if you could provide any insights.
Well, even though I'm a Vidyadharan like you, I'm an outsider, just like my companions here. I can't really say much about a remedy. I do have a piece of advice, Lingsha. The Vidyadhara and the Alchemy Commission on the Luofu have always been intricately connected. If you cannot distance yourself from these ties, Lingsha, changing the situation within the Alchemy Commission may be quite challenging.
I may not know about politics, but I do know that the disciples of Sanctus Medicus have been operating within the Alchemy Commission for years. If you're determined to root them out, maybe you should discuss it with the general.
I see. Thank you for your valuable insights. While the Lux Arrow from the Rainbow possesses unparalleled power to sever the ambrosial arbor, it can't sever mortals' desire to prolong their existence. Just like how the Cloud Knights can eliminate the remnants of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, but are unable to calm the hearts and minds of the people within the Alchemy Commission.
Awkward pausing.
Our Xianzhou forebears knew this well, and that's why they entrusted the duty of guarding the roots of the arbor to the Vidyadhara. However, the Vidyadhara are still only mortal beings. 30 years ago, my mentor served as Alchemy Commission's Cauldron Master. He recognized the emerging undercurrents and sought to cleanse the source of the disturbance. Unfortunately, Even though she was skilled in the art of healing, didn't understand the human heart or how to eliminate the sickness lurking within the depths of the Alchemy Commission. In the end, she was framed and exiled to the Juming. I was also implicated and had to leave the law firm.
I think my stream timer is a little off, too.
Guess who arbitrated the case and handed down the sentence?
Because, like, it says I've only been going for 5 minutes, and I know that is not even close.
What?
You heard it right. The ones responsible for the corruption
This is
in the Alchemy Commission
hour and
are not
19
just
minutes, you
remnants of
drunk.
the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, but even the Divine Foresight himself. Alas, why is your face turning pale, Yanjing? Don't worry about it. I understand that when someone holds a position of power, they may sometimes have to make tough decisions. I won't hold any personal grudges against him. Besides, at our age, holding personal grudges is a luxury we can't afford.
Lingsha, you're back! I'm waiting ages for you!
Yuli! Why aren't you with your grandpa? What brings you to the Alchemy Commission? Well, let me take this opportunity to introduce you to Yanqing.
What a small world. You stole my sword! Give it back!
I see. Let's skip the introduction part then.
Why do I keep bumping into you? Are you stalking me or something? Of course not. Like you, Miss Dunley, I have important things. You, on the other hand, seem to have all the time in the world to wander around without returning my sword.
My sword now, bitch.
Grandpa used to say that a sword reflects its master. I talked to your sword, and it told me that you've been distracted. You hesitate when you should strike, and you struggle to stay calm when your sword is unsheathed. Now that I see you again, I realize your sword was right. It wasn't me who took your sword. It was you who lost focus. You really expect me to believe that nonsense? I've been taking it easy on you because you're a guest from the Juming. You're not taking the hint. Don't people from the Juming know you're supposed to return what you've borrowed? Just look at this flying sword. Even if I gave it back to you now, it'd just be taken away again in a few hours.
Burn.
You know the Cloud Knight saying, a Cloud Knight must never let slip their weapon. Yes? Well, sure, I can give it back to you now. On the battlefield, that's a whole different story. My sword. Fine, you don't have it back because I'll take it back myself.
Do it, you won't. So is this the war dance?
Between these two, who do you think is tougher, Don Hug? Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, like.
Serious?
Get ready to separate them.
It is my first
Everyone
day
is
at
so
the Alchemy
dumb with their
Commission.
shit.
A brawl is definitely not how I imagined celebrating it.
Well, you don't approve. You won't draw my sword here.
I didn't mean it in that way. Since you've already drawn your swords, you'd be disappointed if you didn't get to test one another, right?
Do it. Fight,
I
fight,
received
fight,
reports
fight,
that the
fight,
delves near
fight.
the Alchemy Commission are still infested with abominations. Things like my predecessor. It's a mess. So, if you two want to determine who's better, why not focus on them instead of each other?
Or
Clearing out some abominations? Sounds boring. The Cloud Knight's duty to eliminate those abominations. You don't have to ask me twice, Miss Lingsha. I'll help you get rid of them. Oh, you think you're the only one who knows how to behave? If Lingsha needs anything, I'll gladly draw my sword and help her out.
It's so heartwarming to see both of you being so sweet and caring. So then, shall we get going?
Wait a second, why do we need to wait a second? I've been, killing the couple of fights that we've run into.
Ever
Don't we
since the
have to kill
disciples of
anything?
Sanctus Medicus were eradicated, their experimental abominations have been festering here. If you want a contest, I'll be the referee. The one who kills the most abominations within an hour wins.
Lingshan, as always, you're still an expert in making unpaid work sound so noble and grand.
It's for your own good, little Yunli. While you desire to compete against each other, I don't want to see either of you getting hurt.
Really thoughtful of you, Cauldron Master.
So, both ready?
And now, a word from our sponsor. Pointing is hard. Anyway, Dubby is another alternative to your traditional energy drinks, Monster, Rockstar, etc., etc., etc. The person in charge is apparently a much nicer guy than that of G Fuel, and the taste, honestly, might be a little bit better in some ways. So, if you want cool shakers, which the waifu shaker is not currently available, but they might bring them back one day. Some great flavors. And because I am an expert at this, I totally didn't read first. We got Beach and Peach, Dub Slide, and Dragonade. Honestly, sound pretty good. Haven't tried these three. I have tried one so far. Don't remember what exactly that was, but it was a really good flavor, and I'm just really bad at drinking these things that I'm supposed to be drinking to feel better. Though if you want to feel better, instead of drinking just plain old water or some energy drinks that aren't good for you, or supporting somebody that is not that great, don't forget to use my code TheBlaziking right here. And, well, I think I have one more sponsor for you.